So, I figured I'd sit and go off the top with the wordplay. I got some words to say. I don't know what I'm gonna be conveying with these messages I'm letting sit and sift inside my head until I let them come out, though. But sometimes I knock some people out cold with the truth. I need to hear it as much as the next person. The best version of me is the worst one of you last week. In other words, we're all caught in between, a comparison type of life we don't like to live, and we all get on a train and trying to ride ourselves to no end. But the good thing about life is that it does. Otherwise, do you really wanna? Forever Young is a place to sit with not so much experience happening. You know, experience is the best teacher, and I'm gonna teach each and every one of you all the things that I need to be teaching. Except for the times that I'm fighting the promptings that I get, trying to sit and say, hey, I don't really want to. No, not today. But we always say, hey, there's a different time and a different place to be doing something that we didn't want to do this time. And so we're racing so quick to go with what we call the flow, but really it's the rest of those people doing the things that we don't want to do. We're trying to impress them because apparently we're equal. But we're only equal if we're trying to top the other person, because it's always just like a topple over kind of game. Who can get to the highest point and stay there the longest before everyone topples down, like a human pyramid. A lot of trinities in the world, right? A lot of trinities on the earth. A lot of trinities about things that we don't need. A lot of times we have 3 times 3s, right? That guy's got those and this guy's got these, but I sit here with my block of cheese. I'm blocking things sometimes like a quarterback. I'm sitting there wondering how I'm going to receive it in return. Put it in the machine, it didn't do a thing. You know what I'm saying? Life's a machine. Get your quarters back. Don't spend them in the first place. It's pretty often I'm talking about the worst race that we like to run. The race of life is kind of fun until you realize that you can't even always win without being a loser. But losing's actually the best way to do some things. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying what I'm seeing when I'm looking around at the TV screens, and I don't very often, but sometimes, and when I do, I'm very particular about what I do choose to watch, because otherwise I can get caught in the same trap as anybody else. I'm just as human as him or her. Truly, there's 2 things that we need as a human being. The first one and the second one. Now, who's to say which one is which? Because I'm in this like I just fell off the cliff, landed in a ditch, and I'm looking at this whole life that I got like, what would have happened if I stopped? Took it a little bit slower before I got ran over by my own self. My old self's getting older than my current one. How does that even make any sense? I don't know. Get your quarters back. See what I'm spraying? Some disinfectant. I'm trying to clean some things up, you know? All the mistakes I made in the past, trying to right my wrongs and cover my mistakes as if they never happened. Nah, I'm just kidding. We can't do those kind of things, man. We can't do those kind of things. I'm choking up. That was real, because we can't do those kind of things. It's not some kind of thing. I'm stepping outside of the wordplay for a second or two to say, hey, we can't do that. We've done what we've done. I said some words. He said some things. She did some stuff. And that other guy, we don't even want to talk about what happened there. But it did. And I'm just a kid. 25 years old. 25 times 2 times 3 again. I don't know. Where are we at? 150 years. I don't know how old you want to be living, but I don't want to be getting into this type of life for too much longer. This is what I like. I'm going to sit here and work with some words, and sometimes I'm not on my best behavior. Sometimes the ball's not rolling the best that it should. Sometimes I'm being a little bit square-headed, you know? And sometimes you can't even find me. I'm not even around at all. Sometimes, though, dude, I got some things that I really got to say to people. It's not about me, not because I'm right, but it's because a lot of people are living, and we're all here on the same earth, but living different lives. How does that make any sense? How does it make any sense for somebody to be so lost, and another person be so found? Well, it's because they didn't find themselves. They're a lost sheep, though, allowing themselves to be found when they went astray from the rest of the fold. You never leave the one behind when you're a perfect shepherd, and we've got one of those. I'm not a perfect kid, though. Far from it. Far, far, far from it. I think a lot of times we're trying to reach for the summit to find out if we can see who we can become if we get there. But then once we do, we just want to go back home and take a nap. You know, staying at the bottom is how we're going to solve them. All the problems that we think we have but are really in our mind. Because the higher we try to climb, the ladder of success, if you will, the ladder of success, if you won't, that'd be the better thing to do. Just stick around, you know? Because what goes up eventually is either out of view and doesn't matter anymore, or it comes back to the same place that it was at the beginning. But even if it's up there, it didn't really change. Right? Bringing them quarters back. It's kind of funny, actually. Throwing all these Hail Marys at the dreams that we think we want to happen. Right? These long balls in the long haul, none of it's even going to matter. Except for the one eternal thing that does, you know? The one who created all of this. And all that and all those things and something else too that you don't even know about. But one day you might find out. And when you did, it's no different than not knowing, because it's still the same thing, and so are you. We're caught in between the afternoon and the evening, and even though we can see some things, a lot of times we don't see the things that we see as they are. So we're waiting for the weekend. Wow. When's that gonna come? Well, last week. Shoot. It just comes and goes, you know? We're in what we call one eternal round. A circular cycle. I talk about Michael, how he's walking on the moon and stuff, you know? Black and white, Oreo type of life we live. A lot of things, you know? People don't even know what's going on, but they're claiming to know what's going on. I'm claiming that I don't know what's going on because it's not a claim. But I know some things pretty well. So, I don't know. You know? Isn't that a conundrum? A conundrum. Man. A lot of words I don't even know the full definition of, but I've been using them quite a bit, you know? And who cares? Who's going to check about it? Who's going to fact check this or that thing? Just back and forth sometimes, you know? Table tennis match. Lighting some things on fire, right? Burning up the old me to see what's underneath. Rising from the ashes like a phoenix. And I've been in this place burning up, you know, Arizona's. I like to play with some words, but what I really like to do is be off tempo, because I'm a little bit off camber in my life anyway, you know, standing a little bit vertical on the side of a mountain. Doesn't make much sense. Get your quarters back though, you know. Some themes that I seem to get stuck on sometimes to other people. I'm not stuck on nothing, but I like to just kind of sit and stew inside this little pot of a topic that I couldn't have topped if I tried to, because I didn't come up with it. I didn't come up with much of anything. All the jokes that I say is something that somebody else said about 400 times before me, and each one of those other people was a different one inside the same human being. You know, I'm changing all the time. Get your quarters back. Nah, yesterday though, today and forever. I'm a different person half the time. I cross the lines and then I find the line again, but I drew a fine line, and not only was it fine, but it was also drawn in sand. And so now I'm all tied up in the waves of life, you know, as I'm passing by. I'm saying hi, they're saying hey, but I'd rather say hey because I'm more casual than you in the afternoon. I'm sitting on the beach, and each one of us is trying to find our own place. And the tide just receded again, and all those lines got wiped away. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I like to say. There really is, actually. But when I'm in conversations with other people, you know, if I'm trying to say some stuff that's just real, sometimes people want to just cut the line. You know, I'm reeling in all the things that I think that are okay to have until I realize I got too much to grab. I'm trying to hold on to things and they're falling out of my hands a lot of slippery subjects in this world, you know. He's trying to talk about something sometimes, you know, and the people are like, hey, maybe not. Maybe keep that for an environment that doesn't exist, a hypothetical perfect world that they're living in their head. And so outside, everything seems different than what's up in their cranium. So they're revolving all around this type of place. Shout out to Wizards of Waverly. People are thinking that they can wave some things as if they never happened. You got to address it, right? Where do you live? Earth. That's my home address. I've been addressing some people differently lately. You know, not catering to things that I don't need to. Growing up, I had a skewed view of that kind of thing by the people I was raised. At least, you know, one in particular. I'm not calling names, but you call a spade. I'm just sitting here, you know. Sit on this floor. I broke my guitar, little Frank, the guitar I had. But a lot of things in life just, they're here for a time, you know. One of those things is us. And before we bit the dust, talking about it on the past tense, because now we're looking back at our lives, thinking why? All the things I tried so hard to do, to impress the people so greatly, that I didn't care about at all. Now we're sitting there, we're feeling like we're starting to fall, you know? Spiraling down, though. It's like a whole download. You can't even load the amount of things in the place you need to be going down, though. I'd rather be climbing into my sleeping bag and taking a nap. Lots of ups and downs in life, though. It's like a ladder, trying to climb my way to the staircase of, in case you stare too long, beware of the consequences. I don't know, dude. Sometimes I do, though. Quite well. I got a good perspective on life, because my perspective is that we don't need to have any. You see what I'm saying? I'm just, like I said earlier, saying what I'm seeing, because a lot of people got a lot of things they believe in until they realize they're not true. It's not me, it's not him, it's not you, it's not Joe's, but it's his, or it's this. I don't know, everybody smile for a photograph, right? Oh, the laughs, all the laughs that we can have at our old self when we realized we were doing so many things to impress some other people. Holy cow. Trying to get in the hierarchy of the equal society that we don't live in, and now we're so lost because we've said things on both ends and we pretend that we can be a part of that and a part of this, but then entirely our own being. Instead of just sitting here and starting to see some things, sitting in the space in between, as I like to call it that, if that's okay. I call it a vestibule. You enter a building, you got a doorway, you walk inside, and you got another doorway. And you can hide behind, but it's always a glass building that we seem to see nowadays. A lot of things are just so fake. Fake things, dude, with some baked beans. At least I think that's what they are. It was made in some kind of factory, though. In fact, we need to go back to basics, dude. Back to when laces were laced correct, because people didn't have so many things in their pockets. It's not some kind of joke. This is in the Image Clothing Company music, though. The body is so altered. It's unfortunate that we rely on fortunes to tell us some things. About what? You got your own intellect. And I don't care if you're as smart as me or smarter. I'm a smarty. Because I got a company where we sell some pants. You see what I'm saying? Inflating the ego on my head so big that I'm rising. Popping out all that helium. All of a sudden I'm in a whole different continent. Because I got blown around by the shafts in the whirlwind. You know, I think sometimes we get a little bit big-headed. And, you know, it happens, dude. I'm not going to try to deny it. But what I will do is continue to do it. I'm a human being. You expecting things from me that are more than I can live up to? That's fine. Expect all you want. But I'd rather you expect to just be disappointed, because human beings do that to each other. We're just what we are, dude. So, anyway, it's the 11th of March, 2025. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. I don't currently have a guitar anymore. I'm a guitarist. I'm going to be a guitarist for the rest of my earthly existence. But I broke my guitar. The dude was imbalanced from the factory. Nothing I could have done to it without really altering the way that it just works. So, I'll get another guitar. We'll get back to making some music. By no means was me breaking the guitar any type of thing about giving up guitar. If I was giving up guitar, man, it would have happened, somewhere closer to 2 years prior to now. There's no way. So, maybe we'll have some wordplay in the meantime. Maybe things will look a little different. Who knows? I know one person always does, and that's really all that we ever need to know. So, I just want to make it very clear. And so that's why I'm going to stand in a holy place and be not moved, because still waters run deep. So I'm just settling in. Got a lot that I'm doing, though. Truly, you don't gotta care, you don't gotta believe it, but what you can't do is deny it without lying to yourself. And I'd rather lay down for the slaughter, surrender like a lamb. Under In the Image Clothing Company, all three sides of us, In the Image Clothing Company podcast, the main side of In the Image Clothing Company, where we discuss the anatomy of the human body, allowing it to work, and clothing. And here, under In the Image Clothing Company music, everything's centered around the gospel of Jesus Christ. Coming from this kid, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, a sinful little boy, saying some words that are a little bit harsh, talking in ways that maybe he shouldn't at certain times, lashing out at whatever it was, and who cares, because I'm a human being. So stick around for some imperfect, all right? Thank you.